Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Hillary. This is the Sebastian Diaries. My son's name is Sebastian, our last name is Dyer. That's our channel name. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Today's video is going to be the final episode in a series, my au pair diaries. Yeah, so today's video is going to be a Q&A. I've received several questions throughout this series, and then I did post an Instagram poll asking you guys to send me in any questions you had, which if you do not follow me on Instagram, I'll go ahead and link that here. It's always linked in the description below. Feel free to follow me over there because, like I said, I posted the question box there, and I'm always posting lots of things over there for you guys to see. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this video. Okay, so I kind of want to just jump straight into these questions. I've kind of reviewed them a little bit, and there's several. I was going to do kind of explain like how I became an au pair, but there's several questions that kind of ask that. So I'm just going to jump right in. So the first question I got was, what was the process? So basically the process was, I went through aupairworld.com, and the reason I which I think is another question, but the reason I became an au pair was because I had a friend who did it, and I thought that was so cool that she was living in Australia. That was my absolute dream. And when I found out what she was doing and how she was doing it, I was like, sign me up. How do I do this? So I basically copied everything she did. I followed her steps, went on the website, filled out the profile, applied, everything was good to go. Then a few months later, after I had applied, I hadn't really heard anything. Her host family decided that they actually needed another au pair when she came back to the States. And so because of that, I was like, oh my gosh, do they want another American? Sign me up. And so basically I interviewed with their family. We all fell in love with each other. It was perfect match. And I packed up and moved. How did I hear about it? So like I said, my friend Michaela was an au pair before me, and I kind of heard about it through her and through her Instagram, sharing her story. What is one thing you wish you hadn't packed? This is a great question. One thing I wish I hadn't packed, probably a lot. I took 3 giant suitcases, and it was a nightmare. I had way too much stuff. It was awful bringing stuff home. I ended up shipping my suitcases back. So really, if I could redo it, which I did in Canada, I learned from my mistakes, and in Canada I only packed 1 suitcase, very minimal. I was like, I don't need this much stuff. And so honestly, I don't know one thing, but I would definitely just downsize everything. Why Australia? So I picked Australia because, like I said, it was where Michaela went, and I thought that was so cool. It was the #1 place on my bucket list for as long as I can remember. Australia had been my go-to place, the #1 place I wanted to go since 7th grade when I did a report on it. Really before then, but especially since 7th grade, I remember doing a report on it, and I said, one day I will go there. And then I did. I made my dreams come true, and I think that's so cool. Next, would you ever have an au pair for Sebastian? Yes, I would love to do that. However, being in America, there's a lot more stipulations. I went independently and wasn't through an agency or anything, whereas in America, you have to have an agency in order to have an au pair, and it's crazy expensive. And I just don't know that Zach and I will ever really be in a financial place to have an au pair. Unless, YouTube takes off, and then why not? I would love to. I would love to host an au pair though. I think it would be a super cool experience. But like I said, I just don't really know if it'll ever happen or not for us, but totally would be down for it. Best worst memory. Okay, so my best memory for sure, overall being an au pair, my best memory was probably just every day I spent with Felicity. There's nothing that can top that. I mean, having my own child, but the experiences I had over there, just every day I had with her was an amazing experience. And then also finally seeing the Sydney Harbour Bridge, as cliche as that is, that was one of the sights that I remember, like when I first saw it and I walked up to it and I like caught a glimpse of it. I mean, you can see the smile on my face just talking about it. Like, that is how I felt in that moment. It was the coolest thing. And like fulfilling my dream and feeling that feeling was like just the best feeling ever. Worst memory overall, probably Canada in general, the whole experience, awful. Video linked above, it's in this playlist if you have any interest in hearing about that. If you missed that video, my host mom was psycho. Worst memory in Australia would be when Zach and I broke up, and obviously we got back together, we're married, anyways. But when I was living over there, he did break up with me for about 3 months, well, my last 3 months there. And that was definitely the worst experience. That was pretty hard, going through my first breakup ever across the world with no friends or family. That was pretty hard. But I survived and became a much stronger person, and our relationship is so much stronger now, so it worked out. What was my schedule? So I only worked 2 days a week. I worked on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and then I had a 5-day weekend, which like, wish that could be my job every day of my life. Y'all see my cat? I wish that could be my job every day of my life. Like, that is the coolest thing ever. But I worked Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Pretty much I was up with Felicity around 7 to 8 to 9, somewhere in that time frame. She woke up kind of whenever she wanted. And my host mom was a teacher, so as long as I was up when she was leaving so that I was there with Felicity, that was pretty much it. And then on Wednesdays, we would get up, go to Rock and Rhyme, and then go to the library, hang out with Lauren, eat McDonald's, come home, take a nap, and my host mom was home. Tuesdays, we would just like hang out at the house, play outside, read books. I don't know, I mean, it was just a really fun time. But it was a really simple schedule. I worked 2 days a week. Canada, I worked 5 days a week. It was awful. I worked from pretty much 5 a.m. when Bristol got up until 4 or 5 in the afternoon when they got home. So 12-hour days, 5 days a week. It was awful. And I wasn't compensated for it at all. Oh, leading to the next question. How much did you get paid? In Australia, I was paid $200. In Canada, I think I was paid like $150. So if that tells you anything about the difference of whatever. But I was paid, obviously, Australian dollars and then Canadian dollars. Why did you do it? Like I said, Australia was the #1 place on my bucket list for as long as I can remember. So that was like the #1 why I did it. And then I just always wanted to travel, and I love kids, and I really don't have like a real why. I just wanted to go to Australia. That was the reason why. So yeah, that's pretty much, that was it. In Canada, do you have any good memories? Yeah, no, I do. Obviously everything wasn't bad. I did go out one night with my girlfriends while I was there, and we went out to a bar and had a lot of fun. We like went dancing, and it was a Canadian, an Australian, and an American walk into a bar. So it was a good joke, I'm sure. But yeah, no, that was a super fun time. Anytime I was with like my friends and not my host family, it was great. And then also Bristol's first birthday was there. And that day was a really fun day with the whole family. My host mom was super friendly. We stayed up till like 2 a.m. making all the party decorations. I made the cake. It was just a really fun time. So there were some good memories in there somewhere. Favorite place you've traveled? #1 place would be Sydney or the Great Barrier Reef. Probably. I mean, Thailand was pretty cool, but I still have to say Australia. Is that like so cliche? I know, but it just really is my favorite place on earth. What ages were the kids in Australia and Canada? In Australia, Felicity turned 2 in August while I was living there, and then George was born in September. So I left when George was a month old, because I left in October. And then in Canada, Campbell was 3 or 4. I think she was 3. Or no, she was 4, and Bristol turned 1 in January when I was there, and then I left in February, so. Did you travel alone? Yes, I did. I traveled to Sydney completely alone. I traveled to the Whitsunday Islands completely alone. I think there's only 2 places I went completely alone, but, oh, and then obviously my trip home, I went to Hawaii, all of the different places alone. It was super fun. Were you scared to be alone? Yes and no. There were times when it was scary, but overall it wasn't that awful. I was really cautious, really smart about where I was going, things I was doing, who I was with, what time of day it was, all that stuff, so it really wasn't that bad. Is the Great Barrier Reef as amazing as you thought? 150 million% yes. It was absolutely stunning, so beautiful. That was a great day overall. And then the last question. OMG, I saw your picture holding a koala. Did you see any other animals? Love you. Love you too. Yes, so I actually got to hold a koala. I pet kangaroos, wallabies, wombats. I saw Tasmanian devils. pretty much an echidna. I saw pretty much every animal that's like native to Australia, and if we were able to hold them, like obviously I saw what are they called on the quokkas. I got to hold or pet the quokka. Yeah, so I definitely held lots of animals. It was a super fun time. But anyways, so my camera is dying. I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for tuning into this series. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, if you have any other questions I didn't answer, leave them below, and I would love to chat with you guys in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!